Let's count this down. What is up, everybody? Liam Murphy here for a Week 13 NFL DFS lineup review. Don't always do these, but figured I would on a week where was very close to binking a mill. And yeah, usually would do this video on Monday after the games, but I was a little hungover yesterday. So Sunday, went out to the bars with my friends, watched the games, and had some sweats. If you are someone who watches my DFS breakdown videos, you'd hear me say I did a couple things. So this is just showing my teams. First place in the contest, you needed 214. My best was a 197. I actually late swapped this one where I had a ton of overlapping lineups with a lot of similar players. So what worked for me last week is I locked Christian Watson and Garrett Wilson in every lineup. Now, I usually play a high risk strategy where I play a pretty small player pool other than some spots, but Wilson and Watson to me were, in my opinion, two wide receiver ones, some on the cusp of elite in good spots against, a shitty Bears defense, a not great Vikings defense against the pass in the dome. And they were just too cheap. So I didn't care how popular they would be. And I was happy to see that Watson was not as popular as Wilson, probably because he's mostly done it with touchdowns. And of course, you got to get lucky to have a profitable weekend, but feels good. Swift is another player who I played on like almost every team. And playing a guy like Swift, I think the idea is everyone knew that Jamal was a thing there. And so it's pretty much just hoping that he was finally healthy. And, I think he was in a decent spot in a high total game. He was going to be low owned. He was cheap. And so the price, to me, it was just his price stuck out at 5,600. He was like a first, second round draft pick in best ball. This lineup, I swapped off Eckler and Sky Moore. Sky Moore, I know he wasn't playing a lot of snaps, but I played him in a lot of places, just kind of hoping he would maybe earn more snaps. Obviously, I wish I swapped to. Unfortunately, I played a Wilson-Conklin combo here. Evan Ingram, I played on a ton of my teams. If we look at some of my teams here, just didn't have him on this one and would have been correlated too. So I had one team that was 1 point off. The players I had everywhere were 49ers D and McCaffrey too. I thought the Niners would kick the shit out of the Dolphins, especially with the Dolphins' beat up line. And McCaffrey at his price tag is always going to be tough. And then a lot of my top lineups you'll notice are the Hurts AJ Brown narrative. I said on the video I did that, when you're a really good team like the Eagles, you can kind of win how you want. And I thought the revenge game narrative for AJ Brown was super strong, where it's like they were going to force it against the Titans, just try to like stick their thumb in their face. And if Treylon Burks was healthy, the Titans were probably going to try to force Burks, trying to say, fuck you, we were right. Like in reading the tea leaves or whatnot is a big thing in the NFL. So this one I swapped off Eckler and Sky. So obviously it helped me score more. wish I had Pacheco. I had Pacheco on a lot of my teams. You can see this team had an Eckler, Sky Moore, one of the only Greg Dulcich teams. So this is the one where I think if I had McCaffrey, another 14, 206, and then I guess I would have to like double Engram, and then that would have been a mill. So ultimately, it was a week of almost. So yeah, just gonna make a quick video here. I usually play as far as like action. I usually play. The reason why I played 30 lineups in the 5-5-5, and I just with me binking Best Ball Mania 3, I have a little bit of a tax leeway to take some shots. And when DraftKings does these Millie Maker 5-5-5s, I like to take some bullets at them. But, I'm not going to play nearly as much action this week where there's not a mill up top. Save it for the playoffs or whatever. So you'll notice all these teams have Ingram and Watson. This was a Mahomes team. Like, we couldn't get 30 from Mahomes this week. And Sky. And you notice a lot of the other players are the same, So it was just me building around that. This is one of my few teams that did not lock Christian Watson. Instead, it had the Amon-Ra Engram mini. Did have Wilson and Knight. I did like that combo. Running back, wide receiver, always viable. I thought Dameon Pierce was in a good spot. And the Jets D is the other defense I played a lot, which played really well. I thought against the Vikings, hit Kirk a bunch, but, the results were not there. This was one of my few Burrow teams. Again, if we get a nuclear game from Chase, because, man, I just thought I had such a shot. Going into the afternoon games, the first place team was this team at 201, which was like a good, but not, he had Rams D to go. I just thought I could catch that and ended up not catching it. And, unfortunate for Sam, he did not hold on because I couldn't hold off the late surge of the Jacobs Adams mini. Let's see. I mean, this guy won with ETN. Again, Adams. So, yeah, it was a fortunate week for me where my narrow player pool was a hit, but wasn't enough. I think I profited like 10, 15K on the slate. Or I think I basically doubled my money, which in GPPs, when you have a top, this was a 5,000 person contest. So a top 50 lineup is 1%. And so I had 1, 2, 3, 4, around 4 lineups in the top 1% and around 8 in the top 2%, top 100 lineups. So just Tyreek is another guy I had with a lot of CMC. It was a almost week. Just needed, couple 2v2s, and then we would have really been feeling ourselves. But hey, feeling better about the process. Trying to lock these rookies where, I didn't care if Garrett Wilson was going to be 30%. He was going to be on my teams because I thought the floor for Wilson and Watson was like 15 or so. And they're obviously guys with huge ceilings. Yeah, my top 2 teams both had a Wilson Conklin mini. Unfortunate I did that and didn't do a more chalky thing with Evan Ingram. Where, okay, so that would have been about 11 more points. So that would have put me in third. And then to win, yeah, if I did like Ingram and then Pacheco, which I made the swap in a bar. Juju's not on any of my other teams. I just like to put wide receiver in the flex. So just thought I'd show you guys that. A couple, these are some of the who-whos of DFS. Oxen Duck is a beast. Recognize Sam a lot. Ricky D, obviously a beast with a Metcalf, Lockett, and Adams. Just couldn't overcome the Bryant Pierce mini. Um, and then the other thing I did last week that I thought was sharp is I thought that the Chiefs Bengals game, I said this. I thought that the Chiefs Bengals game was very likely to see a lot of cover two. And so while I didn't have as much P. Ryan as the field, who was super chalky, kind of surprising, I did have a lot of Pacheco with the thought that um, if the Bengals were going to sit in cover two, it would kind of force the Chiefs to run the ball more. Now, McKinnon did get a lot of runs, so that was not what I thought too. I'll take a look at my drafters teams in a bit. So yeah, this was my top scoring team going into the afternoon. It had Pacheco and Hurst left. Hurst got hurt first play. This team. So yeah, we were close, but we're feeling good because, I played this slate well. I was close on that Bills Patriots showdown slate. Had a couple sweats. DFS is hard, so anytime you get a sweat, you feel good. Okay. So I wanted to make a quick video. You can go back and watch my DFS review slate. If you want to see any of the calls. Some of the other things I said. Yeah, so I was going to jam Christian Watson. I was playing 49ers D and Jets D only. I was going to play a lot of Swift. I was going to play some Evan Ingram. Going to lock Wilson and Watson. A lot of Hurts, A.J. Brown. I thought the 49ers would beat up on the Dolphins. 49ers D, CMC, Tyreek. Pacheco and cover two call. Said all that. So I think trying to read the tea leaves can blow up in your face, but you can be right sometimes in the NFL. And in today's NFL, a lot of teams sit in cover two, try to take away the deep pass. So thinking of the offensive cogs that can move the ball for teams when they do, and then what teams are too stubborn on defense to play cover two. Something else to think through. All right, with us looking at that, let's take a quick look at Thursday's showdown slate. And then we'll take a look at the drafters lineups that someone asked me to look at. So if I can get to showdown. So this week on showdown, this Thursday night game is a Las Vegas versus Rams game. Gross. 500K to first, though. Man, so this is probably going to be on slates like these. Trying to force the quarterback on the ugly team is usually a good idea because sometimes the field just totally ignores them. Darren Waller has a potential to return, but the Raiders, if they win out, I think could maybe make the playoffs. I don't really think so. This is an ugly game, guys. This is going to be like leave a lot of salary, probably build a lot of Raiders 5-1s, try to force, like captain either Adams or Jacobs and play them both with Carr. I don't know. Doing this off the cuff. Thought I'd take a look, though. All right, let's take a look at the drafters teams and get out of here. The nice thing about drafters is, other best ball teams. The playoffs are starting next week. Super excited for the best ball playoffs. Got a lot of teams. This is a time for hope. You feel alive. But the thing about drafters is the contest runs through week 17. So, I can see that first is 2,100. And I only have 1928 as my highest scoring one. However, I do have, we 14, 15, 16, 7. So 4 weeks to close around 200 points, which at least you got the 4 weeks. Now, this, a couple of these are separating, but if you can close the gap, if you can put back to back to back to back monster performances from like a 1900 team, you can get in there. Let's take a look at some of these top teams. His team doesn't look that amazing, but I guess it's just pinning together these spike weeks of like Mostert, Pollard, Cook. Second place by 2 points is this guy. Seems better than the other one. Although fragile at these running backs. A Hurts Fields team that makes all the sense in the world why it's doing well. Jacobs, Walker, Pierce, Mostert. Bunch of guys at wide receiver. Then that Hawkinson trade helping this guy out. Okay, well, didn't want to make this video about drafters, but thought we'd answer that question. So, all right, guys, that's what I got. Just a quick one today. We'll be back to review once this is week 14. And once that's done, going to definitely make videos reviewing all my playoff teams. So good luck to y'all in Showdown. Good luck this Sunday. Go Bills. And good luck week 14. Drop a week 14 in the YouTube comments. Peace.